behalf of Organizing Committee of Ministry of Electronics and IT, Government of India, I'd like to welcome our dignitaries and participants who have joined us today for Digital India Week 2022, a week-long celebration of India's digital transformation journey over the past 7 years. I am Anjali Pathak, your MC for this session. India's story of digital transformation is a story of innovation, implementation, and inclusion. India has pioneered uniquely to innovative digital projects, implemented population-scale transformational projects, and ensured digital inclusion with the objective of providing affordable access to digital services to all citizens. The positive impact of India's stack and our digital journey has immensely transformed lives of Indian citizens. It has ensured digital access, digital delivery of services, and digital inclusion of all, based on technology that is sustainable, affordable, and transformative. This week-long celebration has been divided into two phases, physical and virtual. Physical event scheduled from July 4th to July 6th was inaugurated by our Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Modi, on July 4th at the Mahatma Gandhi Convention Center in Gandhinagar. One of the major highlights of Digital India Week is the Grand Expo called Digital Mela, which had more than 200 stalls showcasing Digital India solutions for facilitating ease of living. There have been continuous requests received on India's contribution to the global digital public goods repository. The lessons from India's stack are there for the world to adopt. And hence, Digital India Week's second phase of the celebration, that is the virtual sessions, include a 3 days long orientation program called India Stack Knowledge Exchange, showcasing India's stack and India's digital products and services, scheduled from July 7th to July 9th, 2022. This event will bring together practitioners and digital transformation leaders to share their experience of implementing pioneering projects, which have percolated to the Indian citizens across the urban and rural landscapes of industry. To kick off this inaugural session, I'll start by introducing our speakers. To set the context for Digital India Knowledge Exchange, I'd like to welcome Shri Abhishek Singh, MD and CEO, DIC NEGD. Shri Abhishek Singh is an officer of the 1995 batch of IAS with diverse experience of governance and policy formulation with regard to use of technology for improving governance. He is presently posted as President and CEO NEGD with additional charge of MD and CEO Digital India Corporation and CEO MyGov. In his role at National E-Governance Division, he coordinates projects relating to Digital India, DigiLocker, Umang, Geoinformative. He has also been leading the efforts on communications on COVID-19. Next, we have Shri Rajesh Gera, Director General NIC. Shri Rajesh Gera has joined as the Director General, National Informatics Center, Ministry of Electronics and IT on 31st May 2022. In his association of more than 31 years with NIC, Shri Gera headed several prominent divisions, ranging from Video Conferencing Division, Satellite Network Division, Aadhaar Authentication Division, Ministry of Health, Ministry of Ayush, Ministry of Corporate Affairs, Niti Aayog, PMO, Cabinet Secretariat, President Secretariat, Labor and Employment Informatics Division, and National Database of Unorganized Workers Project. We have with us Shri Alkesh Kumar Sharma, Secretary MeitY, Government of India. Shri Alkesh Kumar Sharma is presently posted as Secretary in the Ministry of Electronics and IT, Government of India. He has earlier served as Additional Secretary and Secretary in the Cabinet Secretariat, Government of India. In addition to other responsibilities given to him, Mr. Sharma was looking after the cabinet proposals of all infrastructure, economic, finance, industry, agriculture, and allied ministries of the central government. He was a member of the project monitoring group set up in the Prime Minister's office. He has also worked as the MD of Kerala Tourism Development Corporation and played a key role in branding and promoting Kerala tourism as God's own country during his two-year tenure spanning over 7 years in Kerala. Now, to set the context for this, for the upcoming 3 days events, sessions, and for the Digital India Knowledge Exchange, I'd like to welcome Shri Abhishek Singh to take over the stage and share a few words. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Anjali, for this interesting introduction, and it's my honor and privilege to welcome all participants to this, and we are truly blessed to have our secretary, sir, to grace this inaugural session and to enlighten us with his guidance with regard to how India Stack, which has like not only truly transformed digital transformation, India's digital transformation journey, but is now being made available for the entire world in order with the spirit of sharing and with the spirit of learning from each other. As we all know, India has made tremendous strides in the field of digital transformation. We have implemented population scale projects, which has ensured that services reach to each and every citizen across the length and breadth of the country. We are a billion plus people. We have multiple languages. We are diverse geographically. So in order to ensure that every person living in any part of the country speaking any language with the different levels of access to connectivity should all be able to access all the best of the quality of digital services. So with this in objective, India Stack was conceptualized, implemented, and there are several components to it. We have built the world's largest identity platform in the form of Aadhaar, which has got 1.3 billion people registered, and were not only registered and given Aadhaar numbers, with the number of authentications that happen every day is humongous. We have so far 73 billion e-authentications and 12 billion e-KYCs that have been done through the Aadhaar platform. The UPI, we have always been talking about the strength of our unified payment interface, the digital payments, wherein we all know that the 40% of digital payment transactions happen in India through our UPI interface, and it has become the more preferred mode of transactions of funds, even for low value funds within India. More and more people across the rural areas and all are using it, and we are having like 99 billion digital payment transactions so far. We have had the total value of digital payment transactions is almost 2.26 trillion worth transactions. We have almost all our banks, 323 banks, which are onboarded on UPI. The COVID vaccination, we built the COVID platform, the COVID vaccination platform, which has done almost 2 billion vaccine doses have been given through the vaccination platform, and it has handled a peak API hits of 2.5 billion API hits. And when we had 2.5 million vaccine doses which were given on one single day, it really, the system was under strength, but that also demonstrated our ability to build population scale platforms which are scalable, which are robust, which are able to meet the load. And any system, any IT system which can perform with the requirement that's there in India can work anywhere else in the world. The DigiLocker, which is a document wallet, we have almost 5 billion documents there with 112 million users who are using it to seamlessly exchange documents, which is enabling paperless governance. We are all aware of the role that Arogya Setu played for contact tracing during the COVID-19 pandemic. It's the world's largest COVID contact tracing app with more than 217 million downloads and users. Then the Diksha platform, which was built for online education, which provides online learning content on an open source platform, was set up, was built up, and millions of students during the pandemic accessed education and continue to do so. Whether it's the eSanjeevani telemedicine platform, which allows remote access to doctors and healthcare, and we have had more than 30 million consultations which have been done through the eSanjeevani platform. Then the API Setu, which is like the Crossroads project of Estonia, what it does is that it allows different government systems, databases to connect to each other, exchange information, offer services seamlessly without any requirement of building another system on top of it. So what it does is that it will connect different systems and ensure that information that's already available in one government database or system will be shared seamlessly with the others. And it's like actually helping us realize the true vision of e-governance, of a connected government, of a whole of government approach in which all services can be rendered on one go. Then we have e-hospital and numerous other projects, numerous other offerings. So what has been done is that, and in fact, 2 days on 4th of July, when we started the Digital India Week, we have launched an initiative called indiastack.global, and that portal is the one-stop shop for accessing all information relating to the key Digital India projects. And another key feature of most of our projects is that They're built on open standards, and we believe to put most of our code in the open source to be available for the global community to use, customize, and adopt. We have had several requests from various countries in which who are trying to replicate some of our large-scale projects. For example, Philippines, Morocco are replicating Aadhaar. The UPI has been offered to several countries in the Middle East. Even countries in Europe and West have expressed desire to learn to adopt UPI for their own digital payment transactions. There are countries which have been expressed interest in the DigiLocker, and we are also part of the international collaborative efforts in this direction, whether through the World Bank, through the UNDP, through the Digital Public Goods Alliance. So in the Digital Public Goods Alliance also, India is committed to offer all our public digital goods into the global repository so that it can be available for sharing. And similarly, we look forward to learning from other countries, wherein if other countries have developed similar solutions, we would like to look at them, we'd like to adapt them to the extent possible and build up a culture of sharing digital public goods. So many of these solutions, whether it's in the field of healthcare, agriculture, or education, if they work in one country, they will have applications in other countries also. So with these few words, I would welcome all the participants from all across the country, all across the world who have joined in. In fact, I was told by my team members that almost 5,000 people have registered for this event, and we have participation from more than 53 countries. So I welcome all the participants who have joined in from various locations. We know that time zones might be different. So because of that, this entire content that you are viewing live will also be available for viewing offline, so that those people for whom the time is not convenient, they can also log in to our portal and get access to the sessions that have been planned. We have sessions today on the identity stack. We have sessions on digital payments. We have sessions on the health stack. We have sessions on agriculture. We have sessions on urban stack, and we have also sessions on the open network for digital commerce, which is the latest offering that India has provided to the world. So the agenda is very intense. The speakers are real practitioners who have implemented the projects, who will share insights, who will share experience of implementing such projects at the population scale. So with this, I conclude my opening remarks, and I would request our team to play a video which showcases what India Stack is. And incidentally, the India Stack Global portal, which was launched by Honorable Prime Minister, will also be available in other languages. English and French is already available, but other UN languages will also be added very soon. So thank you once again for joining it, and I would request our team to play the India Stack Global video.
The Digital India Mission, under the visionary leadership of Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi, has led India far into the digital era. Innovative and transformational projects, Aadhaar, UPI, COVID, DigiLocker, Umang, Diksha, e-Sanjeevani, and many more like these form the foundational building blocks of India Stack. These together have resulted in ease of living for 1 billion plus people and led to efficiency, transparency, accountability in the governance. These technology-led innovations, based on open standards and interoperability principles, are now available on indiastack.global. Digital solutions from India will now be shared globally so that other nations can reuse them, adopt them, and benefit from India's positive experiences. Riding the wave of digital technology, indiastack.global will catapult India's techade and further India's ethos of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. indiastack.global.
That was amazing. Thank you for all the information, Abhishek sir. And I still remember when the year 2021 started, Prime Minister Modi said that this decade is going to be India's decade. And India is definitely soaring high in the tech domain. And that's amazing to see how the startups and industries are coming together to make the technical part of things, technical domain of India strong. With that, I'm gonna ask Mr. Rajesh Gera, DG NIC, to take it away, share a few words and his insights.
Thank you, Anjali. Respected Secretary Mehta sir, Abhishek ji, CEO NEGD, and all distinguished guests who are listening to this virtual summit. And thank you for giving me the opportunity to share some of the experiences. NIC is under the guidance of METI has been doing a number of projects for delivering digital products and services for the benefit of the government as well as for the citizens. So I would like to share some of my thoughts and how we have learned over the years and how we have built the system under the guidance of various departments and organizations to meet their needs. See, we have attempted to use some of the new technologies by which the citizens can really avail the full services from full workflow sitting at their home. So they don't have to visit and stand in lines and for availing any of the government services. And one of the recent examples, which is again, Aadhaar has been our fundamental identity and authentication platform, which we have which we have used in most of our government services for identifying a beneficiary or a person and authenticating that, digitally authenticating that he is the person who's using this service. And this has really turned around our deduplication between the different databases and helped various government schemes in actually stopping the leakages to the people who are not intended or those fake beneficiaries who may not exist. So, and Aadhaar has given us a recent services of face authentication. So far, we have been using biometric authentication for identifying a person, that he is digitally identifying the identity of a person. So in two examples, I will give an example and we find it very interesting. And we were at the Digital Mela last week under the guidance of METI, and where government and startups and industry and all innovative companies, private companies were all under one roof, exchanging ideas with each other and sharing experiences with each other. So now with a normal Android mobile, you can capture the photograph of a person like a selfie, and it goes to UIDI and it does the face recognition with the photograph which is stored in the UIDI. So earlier we used to do the iris authentication, which is the eyes, or the biometric authentication. And this service has actually opened the avenue for anywhere. For example, I met the ACS Gujarat during my trip to Gandhinagar, and they had and as soon as I told him that we are showing this technology in our exhibition, so he immediately came up with a use case that there are teachers in all the villages of Gujarat, there are health workers in all the villages of Gujarat, and can you give a solution by which we can take their whether they have come, which all places they have visited during their work, using a simple mobile phone. So then we sent our team to the senior leadership in Gujarat and showed them that using this face authentication of Aadhaar, one can really take attendance and also take whether the police inspectors have visited that villages and do the further work. So this is one new, this only happened in last 5 or 6 months, and we have tried it for pensioners, and it has really worked very well, that some pensioners who are very old and somehow their biometric and iris are not able to capture, they are not able to authenticate using the, or having difficulty in authenticating using that, they are able to authenticate using the face recognition with the help of UIDI. Engine is of UIDI, and we are only using it as a service so that we enable our citizens to do it more better. The second, as Abhishek had just mentioned, that see, India is a very big country. and we experienced it in all our projects. And the recent projects was after the COVID, we had to make a database for all unorganized workers in the country, so that the government can help them uh, if such a scenario has to come again, that suddenly some disaster comes of a health or any other format. So, and there we've had used the latest technology. I'm just using the word microservices, and I think Abhishek mentioned the same thing. When you have to scale up, like he said about COVID and Arogya Setu, so those were also developed in very short time, and they actually had to scale up to cater to 30 crore people or 40 crore people together. Everybody is looking for an appointment in COVID. Everybody is looking for a contact tracing. So there are the user database is very high, and you need to have a system which is so scalable that if it ramps up from 10% to 100%, the quality of service remains almost similar. So one doesn't reduce the performance. And we faced the same thing when we were trying to make a national database of all unorganized workers, including the migrant workers, which work from one place of one state to another state. They go for rotational periods for job and then come back. And we suddenly found that this became a mass movement. We had not planned that so many people will come, do the self-registration, including with Aadhaar eKYC, identify themselves. And suddenly the demand became so much that in every village or every panchayat, we have an organization with METI CSC, and which is a brilliant organization which has a network of 4 lakh points or CSC centers all across the country. And imagine that if in all centers they bring even 20, 30 people. So we had to do registration of 1 crore people in one day. So that is the way we had to scale up. And this technology, microservices and APIs and the cloud, hyperscale clouds, both these combination together helped us in achieving this large number of transactions or registrations or load. And it made it so simple that and Aadhaar has actually made the life so simple that people can register from anywhere. They can all people who are not so much digitally literate, they can go to the CSC center so that they do registration in an assisted mode. But there are so much of youth in the country, and all of them are using mobile for so many of their own activities. So half of the population is able to do without going to even a CSC center. So they can avail the services from your own mobile end to end. So that was a good learning for us, and we can share it with the other countries. We have learned a lot on the technology, deploying large solutions and using the latest innovative technology. And we will be more than willing to share it with state governments, other countries. We are in an advanced stage of signing an MOU with Mauritius. Our team had gone to Mauritius under the guidance of METI sometime in February, and the Mauritius government wants to they wants to partner with METI and NIC so that some of these solutions and our experiences which we have learned over a period of many years, they can be deployed in Mauritius also. Another one example, Abhishek mentioned about eSanjeevani, so which has been a very I myself have used it because I was at that time in defense, and there was in the second COVID wave, there was very short of doctors, and it was physically meeting a doctor was becoming very challenging. So all the defense doctors who were retired, they are not in service, but they are doctors. So Ministry of Defense quickly approached METI, and METI and Ministry of Health together gave us the eSanjeevani platform, and we made a pool of doctors. We could arrange about 200 doctors online, and everybody in the city, any citizen of the country, whichever part they were. And we were so happy that even from villages and other places, either in their kids were bringing the grandmothers or the senior parents, and they were showing it to the doctors remotely, and the doctors were prescribing medicines remotely, And during the COVID period, it was a real boon that all our citizens could interact and take help of, because those 2-3 months were very challenging for all of us in India, where physical movement was almost not there. Artificial intelligence, and we have been using now, and one of the key use cases we showed in our digital mail also was that by an X-ray, because the hospitals shared with us about 50,000 X-rays of people who had TB. So using the learning from those X-rays, an artificial intelligence system was built up to help the new doctors diagnose quickly. So when you get a new X-ray of a new patient, it goes and checks back with the learning what he has of the TB patients, and then quickly helps him to find out whether there is a possibility. Obviously, he can't tell 100%, but whether there is a possibility that there is something he is spotting in the X-ray which is having a similar pattern in the TB patients. So that's a good use case, and we, with the help of METI, we would like to expand it to many more use cases of artificial intelligence, because we have tons and tons of data. At least during last 7-8 years, each department has e-hospital, Ayushman Bharat, e-Sanjeevani, and many more projects like this have so much of data that we would like to use artificial intelligence and machine learning to pick up some trends out of this data and help the other people. And one example of the blockchain, it's a new technology and it's a very secure technology, because security is a concern nowadays. Cyber security is always a most challenging problem that even if we try to secure it, though we have many institutional mechanisms like CERT, NIC CERT, and Chief Security Officer, Information Security Officer in each department, but still cyber security is ever evolving. The hackers are always finding new and new ways. So blockchain helps us in that, like for property registration, documents or transactions which are very high value transactions and important transactions. So we have state centers all across India. So our Bangalore, Karnataka State Center has developed and used this blockchain technology for property registrations. And mobile is last point I would like to mention is the mobile. And this mobile, Aadhaar and mobile are the two technologies or the penetrations which have helped us in grow all our services for which the government of India and the state governments are providing to reach to the ease of living and the last person on the as citizen of India. And one such example I would like to give is Amarnath Yatra. It's a very important period, 1 month, where people from all over the country visit J&K and go and attend that. And we made it so the portal was made with the help of government of J&K with the Shrine Board, and everybody could book the helicopter, the registration, all using Aadhaar. So because security is an important concern in Amarnath Yatra, so we have to identify the person actually who is booking. And as soon as he lands up in the base station, he is given an RFID card, and using that RFID card, he can go very easily, crosses all security barriers and all security checks, and comes back easily. So we are thankful that to all the departments and the METI and all the state governments who have helped us to give challenging tasks, and we would be very happy to share it with all our stakeholders, or whatever we have learned, we would like to share with all of them. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for all those examples and use cases of Aadhaar. I mean, India has strong scientific and technological capabilities now that we can see with all these examples that have been showcased even at the physical event also. And it is, definitely making its presence felt in various sectors of India's development, while also providing digital services to the citizens for ease of living. That's amazing. Now I'd request Mr. Alkesh Kumar Sharma, Secretary MeitY, to share his experience, his learnings with us. Sir, over to you.
Thank you, Anjali, and thank you, Abhishek and Rajesh, for setting the context. I think you have given all the details and made my job easy. Distinguished technology leaders, we have practitioners, industry leaders, academia from almost 53 countries, I have been told. So, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of MeitY, the Ministry of Electronics and IT, I would like to welcome once again each one of you to this morning in India's Tech Knowledge Exchange. This journey we started about 8 years ago, and the whole objective was to transform India into a digitally empowered society and a knowledge economy. I think we had three objectives when we started this journey. It was about transformation, empowerment of common citizen, making the life of the citizens easy, and create a knowledge-based economy. And these are the three major pillars on which all our platforms have been developed. I'll just take you through the last 8 years, how we have come about and have moved up in the Digital India program. In 2014, we did the first launch of MyGov. It was a citizen engagement platform where citizens were engaged with policymakers in consultations, giving feedback, suggestions on all the new initiatives which government wanted to take. We started the Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana. This was one of the largest program of financial inclusion for those who have been left out of financial inclusion. And we have done almost 450 million accounts today. In 2015, we saw the launch of DigiLocker, which was again a paperless governance where most of the services of the government have been on a mobile. We started e-hospital project in the same year, and then a national scholarship portal, which was a one-stop solution for all scholarships which are given to students right from primary to their PhD level. In 2016, we started with this so-called unified payment interface. I think that has catapulted our digital program to a new level. With 40% of digital transactions, financial transactions happening on UPI, I think we are among the largest platforms in the world today. And government e-marketplace, the GEM, which was started again, I think we have taken over some of the major e-commerce companies in India today. We started for the agricultural farmer produce, we started a platform called eNAM, which takes care of the market-based information for the farmers on a mobile in different languages all over the country. In 2017, we witnessed the launch of Umang. It was again unified mobile-based application platform. Again, you can access all government services in the single mobile app. The GSTN was made as one nation, one tax in a country of 1.3 billion, and having 36 states and union territories. Having this kind of a national one nation, one tax was a challenging task, but that has been rolled out seamlessly, and now we see the benefit of all that. DigiDhan mission was also launched for digital payments. In the same year, we started the Pradhan Mantri Gramin Digital Sakshata Abhiyan, whereby we are going to give e-literacy to 60 million people, 60 million households, which inhabit almost 300 million persons in their houses. They are being made digitally literate. In 2018, of course, Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana, which was Ayushman, every poor man in the village has access to medical intervention services in some of the best hospitals in India. We started PM Kisan, where all the farmers of the country have been connected, and money is being transferred to their accounts directly. Future Skill Program, again, it's a new generation learning on AI, blockchain, AR, VR, and all new technologies. National Strategy for Artificial Intelligence has also been launched in 2018. 2019 was another watershed where we started a lot of new schemes for startups in technology sector. 2020, in spite of passing through the COVID-19, we started India's largest supercomputer mission called Param Siddhi, and it is among the top 60s in the world. We started, as has been mentioned by Abhishek and Rajesh, that we started the way we handled COVID. I have personally experienced this as the head of a special officer in my state when the COVID wave 1 started. And then in COVID wave 2, I was in cabinet secretariat, very closely monitoring what was happening all over the country in COVID 2 and how we have been able to track and trace. Not only that, we also had to see how logistics can be managed, how deaths could be brought down, vaccination has been done. I think that was one of the watershed in our Digital India development program. And a lot of PLI schemes was launched in 2020. Again, we started this Ayushman Bharat Digital Mission, which is again a universal digital healthcare project. We started on taking on electronics and electronics hardware items through the PLI schemes, where we have schemes of almost $10 billion for the developing semiconductors in India. India's first petascale supercomputer has been developed last year. We also have a national strategy on additive manufacturing, which will give us a lot of new compounds and complex compounds, which will help us in developing and having better data storage capacity. I think this is how the whole journey in 8 years have continued. We have got multiple platforms, which we have been sharing with many countries, had been mentioned by my colleagues before. And these initiatives have actually led to very high level of efficiency and transparency in governance. It has actually resulted into ease of living and ease of doing business in India. Now, every common citizen of India, quality and affordable services through a one click on their mobile or a kiosk of common service centers, which are spread over 557,000 villages in India. Overall, in the last couple of decades, India's IT manpower has been the provider of technology-enabled, proven, trusted, inclusive, and resilient solution. However, now it is proposed to share what we have successfully implemented at population scale in India with other countries so that they can also use some of these initiatives to meet their socio-economic and development needs. India wants to be a trusted, transparent, and equitable partner of sustainable digital development journey along with other partners in the world. The business model can be built on how to share these products and services. Either it can be a product as a service or a product as a technical know-how, and implementation can be taken up by recipient countries. We'll be happy to give all kinds of technical support that is needed. Now, we have this week-long Digital India Week. As you know, first 3 days we have done it physically, where the Prime Minister has launched our program. Now, for the next 3 days, we are doing it on a digital mode, where all our important public platforms, whether it is identity stack, payment stack, health stack, education stack, agriculture stack, digital inclusion, urban stack, are a multiple of platforms which can provide you end-to-end solution, whether you live in a village or in a city or affected with health or commerce, anything you want to do. I think we have got platforms and solutions. And we are also looking at an interesting session, which will be talking on a space technology stack. I think that will be something very interesting to all of us. We have a galaxy of eminent speakers who will be speaking and sharing their experience. Most of them have been practitioners themselves, and they'll be sharing their experience and challenges, how they have been able to develop these kinds of stacks. And I'm sure these delegates and all those people who are participating in this meeting will find these sessions useful. And I'm sure at the end of the day, there will be a lot of takeaways for each one of us. I would like to once again welcome each one of you in this India's Tech Knowledge Exchange and wish these deliberations all success. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that, sir. I think there's a lot to learn from India's technological transformation that has been happening since a very long time now. And it's good to see that, we are at a stage where we can actually provide other countries some help in learnings through what we've been through and what we are doing in the technological domain and the services that we are building for the consumers, the citizens of our country. Again, I'd like to thank all of our esteemed speakers who were here today they shared a lot of learnings with us, what India is doing in the technological domain, how we are really helping our citizens. And I'd also like to thank each and every one of you who joined the inaugural session. We hope we'll have a gala of time because we have scheduled some stellar knowledge gaining sessions for you all. So stay tuned for the upcoming session on building Aadhaar. I think it's going to be a good one. So don't go away.
Thank you. So, Anjali, you could mention about the next session starts in around 15 minutes. No? And we have a session on the India's digital ID platform, right? Just mention the details about the speakers. So Anjali, just give a overview of the sessions that are to come. So like from 11 o'clock, we have a session on building Aadhaar. It will be addressed by Dr. Rajesh Sharma, who is the founding CEO of the UID Authority of India. And he will be talking about how Aadhaar was built. He will share his insights with regard to that platform. Then we'll have Dr. Saurabh Garg, who will talk about the current state of Aadhaar. Then we have Dr. Pramod Verma, who is the CTO of Aadhaar and CTO of Ekstep, who has been one of the leading lights with regard to building most of these population scale platforms. He has been associated with Aadhaar, he has been associated with the UPI, he has been part of DigiLocker's team. He has been also been instrumental in the Diksha platform. So he is one of the key people who have been like helping us build this large scale technology platform. So he will be sharing his insights with regard to technology architecture and use of emerging tech. And then we'll have Mr. Suresh Sethi, who will talk about the eKYC and eSign. So very interesting set of speakers coming up at 11 o'clock. So till such time we have a short break. So if we have any videos on our projects or something, those that can be showcased during this period when we wait for the next session to start.
A revolutionary step, a revolutionary decision, a revolutionary change that gave a digital identity to each and every person without any discrimination of caste, creed, class, or of being rich or poor, that empowered millions of marginalized people with a secure identity, that provided the money to the poor of which they were entitled to, scholarships to the students, and directly delivered pensions into the bank accounts of elderly persons. This is none other than the world's largest digital identity revolution. Aadhaar, my identity. UIDAI, Unique Identification Authority of India. Today, billions of residents of India are part of the world's largest digital revolution. Whereas earlier, one needed a number of cards for different tasks. Today, all identity-related work can be done with Aadhaar. Whereas earlier, the newborn didn't have any identity. Today, even a newborn can get Aadhaar. Whereas in the past, banking was almost impossible in far-flung areas. Today, doorstep banking is possible with Aadhaar-enabled payment system. Whereas earlier, it was difficult to weed out a fake or bogus beneficiary. Today, now with Aadhaar, through its biometric and demographic authentication system, this problem is almost non-existent. Whereas earlier, middlemen used to usurp benefits, now with Aadhaar payment bridge system, the cash is directly transferred into the bank accounts of beneficiaries. Today, Aadhaar-linked services are available across thousands of bank branches, post offices, BSNL centers, and central government offices. Every day, more than 500,000 people carry out their Aadhaar enrollments and updates at these centers. These centers also carry out mandatory biometric updates of children once they reach 5 and 15 years, free of cost. Now all Aadhaar-related services are available at Aadhaar Seva Kendras run by UIDAI, which follows the model of Passport Seva Kendra. Besides this, Aadhaar has enabled authenticated transactions worth billions of rupees. Do you think all this would have happened so easily? It was not easy to implement Aadhaar in a vast country like India. The toughest challenge was to reach out to 1.3 billion people. This challenge was surmounted by active cooperation of state governments, banks, India Post, CSC, and several other partners. Aadhaar enrollment camps was set up from village to village. A robust ecosystem was created, which not only generated Aadhaar for 1.3 billion residents,
ट्रस्ट करते हो एक दूसरे को?
ऑफ कोर्स।
कितने सालों की दोस्ती है?
20 साल।
20 साल? गुड। ये सोच रहे हो ना कि दोस्तों को पैसे कैसे भेजते हैं और मनी रिक्वेस्ट क्या है? तो अपने यूपीआई ऐप पे जाओ, नोटिफिकेशन दिखेगा। अपने दोस्त का यूपीआई आईडी और नाम वेरीफाई करके अपना यूपीआई पिन डाल के पैसे दे सकते हो।
अच्छा, मनी रिक्वेस्ट एक्सेप्ट करने से क्या होता है?
इजी, मनी रिक्वेस्ट एक्सेप्ट करने से तुझे पैसे मिलेंगे।
गलत। अगर आपने मनी रिक्वेस्ट एक्सेप्ट किया और अपना यूपीआई पिन डाला तो पैसे आपके अकाउंट से डिडक्ट होंगे। मनी एक्सेप्ट करने के लिए कभी भी अपना यूपीआई पिन नहीं डालना पड़ेगा और फेक मनी रिक्वेस्ट आया तो डिक्लाइन, इमीडिएटली रिपोर्ट स्पैम।
पर अगर दोस्त का मनी रिक्वेस्ट आया तो?
We thank all the dignitaries for finding time to attend this session, inaugural session. We also thank all the participants who take their time out to attend the inaugural session. We will be closing the inaugural session and beginning with the next session, that is building Aadhaar shortly. Thank you so much.